All right, this is interesting. So the verdict has been in. So Diddy has been okay. So remember, he's charged on 5 accounts. Okay, and so one of the count one is the racketeering and conspiracy. He was found not guilty from Cassie Ventura. Sex trafficking and by force, fraud, or coercion by Cassie Ventura is not guilty on count two. The jury found him guilty on count three, which is the transportation to engage in prostitution with Cassie Ventura. That's guilty. Count four, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion by Jane. That's one of the people who had the testimonies there during the cross examinations. Not guilty. And count five, transportation to engage in prostitution by Jane, guilty. So as you remember too, back in the beginning, right? Actually during this case here, the prosecutors, they were actually getting shot. They dropped one of those charges with abating and prostitution, sex trafficking, and I think what else it was, the arson, the little things that was going on, and also these civil cases. But looking at this, he can possibly get a maximum of 10 years in prison for each count of the counts that he's convicted of, which is the prostitution. But I doubted that he's going to get like a max of 20 years. Maybe they were suggesting that he was probably get 5 or 6 years. And one of his defense attorneys actually wanted, they proposed like $1 million bond, but it was denied. They was like, no, he's not going home. He's a flight risk. Even some bodyguards were stating that, hey, if Diddy gets free, our lives will be out on the line. Seriously. So this is a huge thing. It really is. So it's kind of fascinating here. I know some people believe that this is injustice here. I mean, you got to look at the jury, the men and women of the jury too. Of course, they're going to make a decision before the holidays. Been here for like 6+ weeks. They had to continuously to deliberate. They utilize all the evidence that's from Cassie Ventura. We don't know what was on those freak off tapes. Only the jurors know. So it was kind of just very difficult when I was thinking about this to prove that Diddy is running a criminal enterprise, right? Sex trafficking is really hard to prove, but yes, it is true that he may be a terrible boyfriend, probably have her under arrest, forcing Cassie and other individuals to perform sexual acts and drugs and things of that nature, because the feds was all over this. But I mean, this is the law. This is our justice system here. It's gonna be interesting here when we gonna see the sentencing. I think it's gonna be maybe in September, October, and we're gonna definitely find out. But he could get parole. I don't know. I just doubt he's gonna get 10 years of each case. I mean, each count of prostitution here. Of crime. So I mean, that's the biggest thing I will say here. So, but like I said, they got a verdict in. I know it's probably difficult. We don't know what was said in those rooms. We don't know. But hey, at the end of the day, man, I know his family wanted him to go home, but I really not in agreement too with the Mann Act, because you think about it too. Let's go back and listen to Jack Johnson, was African American heavyweight boxer at the time, right? They get him on that because regardless it was consensual or not, if you having sexual relations with someone coming from across state lines, that's illegal in their eyes, right? So, but a lot of this stuff was just it was a lot of talks here. I think that the prosecutors probably just, like I said, failed to really bring it in home here that he's running a Rico, it's a Rico case. It's very hard. It's very hard to prove that. That's why you got to have additional backup charges. But this is an interesting case here. So more follow up to this. He's still not free. He's still going to do some time. But I just don't think it's going to be like life. He still maybe, like I said, probably do 4 or 5 years, maybe 2030, get out. And maybe it might be shorter than that, So we have to see. But that's just the biggest updates here. I appreciate you guys for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Till next time, I love y'all. I'm out.